Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma and we're out here in our front yard and we're going to build a walkway. So we've built a couple of these walkways before. They're really simple and easy and we make them out of pallets and it's totally free aside from the stakes. But these stakes are actually getting reused from a different project that we had. So totally free project for us today. And then we'll take a walk around the garden and I'll show you some other walkways that we have made. I think walkways are really important to have in the garden because they give us some structure and it really helps guide us along inside of the garden. Plus, it makes sure that I don't plant everything so much that we can't walk around and maintain the plants that we have.
Been on to heaven.
Yeah. So let's get these I'll show you what we're gonna do and then we'll get them built. Okay, so we have our materials here. This is pallet boards that we cut off of pallets and cut down to the size that we wanted them and drilled holes, and then we will use these landscape spikes to go in them, and then we will use the sledgehammer and pound them into the ground. We're not using any kind of landscape fabric or sand or anything underneath this particular walkway because it's super short and it really just doesn't get that much rain, even though it looks like it's really exposed, but it actually doesn't get very much rain. We have to water over here in the summertime. So we're just going to take the path right alongside this bench and take it to the table. And it just gives us like a designated pathway. And it'll help us determine once this Chinese fringe flower starts getting its size, it'll help us determine like, okay, this is as big as you get to go because we need a walkway.
Oh, slick. I didn't even think of that. Hi. Oh gosh. Cool.
What do you think?
Um,
It's pretty narrow right here, huh?
I like it. Actually, cool. Okay. There.
there we have it. Cute. Simple, easy, super fast. Of course, the prep work did take some time when originally we cut the boards, stained the boards, drilled the holes, all that stuff. But still not that difficult to do. So let's take a walk around and I'll show you some of our other walkways. I have square cement pavers around this rhododendron, and it takes me into the privet grove, and it allows me to stand in here when the hostas are up. You see the white tags, and there's hostas all through here. And then you can see the pearly everlasting all coming up. All that like blue colored foliage is a patch of pearly everlasting. So these walkways make sure that I don't keep planting and I have plenty of space for myself to walk through. I do have an entry point into the rose garden. We don't have a pathway in here because there's plenty of circulation around the roses, and we don't make it, you know, we're not going to overplant around the roses necessarily. I do have a little walkway through here because this is a natural path for us to take to cut up into that part of the garden. So we just have a couple of stones to walk on and step up onto right here. In this garden right here, you see all the little white tags. Those are all my dahlias. And I do want to put some stepping stones throughout that garden because I also have hyacinths and lilies and irises, and of course there's blue star creeper and iberis, and I don't know what all else in here. So I do want to put just a couple of strategic stones, like maybe right here, one maybe like right there, just so I can stand there and maintain the flower. And this pathway is all grass, and that's probably going to stay like that. It might end up being a thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, ground cover eventually. On this grassy path, we want to add flagstone, so that'll be another hardscape. Back up here for a second. Right here in this garden, we have just a couple of bricks in here, and that is just simply so I can step between the Lithidora and other plants that we have in here and get down into the medicine garden if I want to come this way. These were actually placed here before that eucalyptus was so big or the rosemary was there. So we don't actually use that path as often as we did back when we installed it. So let's see, the other hardscape that we have, of course, we installed these stairs. These are railroad ties that we placed here to safely get down this hill because it was just a slope, and it was a slippery slope at that. And then of course we have this walkway made out of pallets. It's really clear what we did there. And this walkway is elevated up off the ground. There's landscape fabric underneath it, and then rock, and then the pallets. And this area gets very damp in the winter. It stays damp all summer, and this has really helped us and able to be down in the lower garden during the winter months. I don't think I have any other pathways down here. No, right now the mermaid garden pathway is just two different colors of mulch. You can see where the beds are in the dark mulch, and then the light mulch is the pathway. Eventually I would like to see that get bricked with like a scallop brick so that it looks like a mermaid's tail, but that's a long time from now. All right, let's go upstairs and I'll show you some other pathways that we have. Adding structure into your garden really helps the flow of the garden. It helps you know it helps you envision how you want that garden space to look, and ensures that you are creating the most beautiful space that you possibly can. It also helps you just have a place of rest, and you have a place to stand, your eye has a place to rest. All of those things are very important to include in the garden. Otherwise it just becomes all work and no play. So adding those places where you can stop and enjoy your garden is essential to creating a sacred and beautiful garden. One of our early projects here is we expanded this walkway. It's just a standard cement sidewalk. We added these brick pavers on each side just to give it a little more robust of an entry, and I intend to do that in the backyard as well. So you can see here that this is, again, just a small sidewalk, and I'd like to add those pavers on this side just to give it a little bit more of a robust look. We have a walkway over here in the moon garden, and oops, they've been jostled just a bit. These are a little bit too close together, but they go around in an arc like this, and I intend to paint them of the phases of the moon on them this summer. We also have one sitting right off to the side because we really tend to cut across and step down into the flagstone over there, opposed to walking in the arc every single time. So that's another thing, knowing your path, your natural way of getting around the garden, and honoring that, right? Because eventually this is going to all fill in with a jugga, and if I didn't place that paver there, I'm just going to be stomping on the plants over and over when I know I'm going to use that space as a stepping stone anyway. So the last formal walkway we have are these pavers, and they go from our deck over to our garage. They are a disaster right now because the snow just melted and the birds kicked all this mulch all over the place looking for breakfast, I guess. Oh, I know. In this walkway, we used to have that pallet pathway, but we discovered that those pathways just can't be walked on that much, and they started warping. So we took them up from there. We put some of it right here, and it's been here for a little over a year. It's been perfect right here. It goes past this little gate into the next portion of the garden right here, and then just sort of fades away before we get into the lower garden. And so the pallet pathway that we just installed is the leftovers from this project. Well, that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed it and you're inspired to put some structure in your garden and find some free materials and make yourself a garden path. It's enjoyable and it's fun and it gets your creative juices flowing. Until the next time, keep celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.